I guess I'm introducing. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to A Scene for London Ascending. This scene takes place in the meeting place that is 34 Tite Street, the former residence of Oscar Wilde. It's a known place where kindred are permitted to gather on certain nights and discuss social matters and pleasantries with one another. The card for the place is commonly handed out at Elysium, so characters may arrive here if they so wish. And that's how the scene starts.
And with the start of such gleeful events in this wonderful salon that has been passing through kindred ears, Vincent has learnt about it through the newest harpy, in fact, and has decided to pay Camilla a visit for purposes of pleasantries and business, or a mixture of the two, as he quite noticeably, distinct as he always is, with that wonderful mustache and combed hair and just ever so slightly out of date coat, kind of big black tie, strolls on in, is extremely pleasant to the staff if they ever interact with him. He seems to be in a very good mood today.
The staff seem quite delighted by you. The valet, Mr. Cadbury, as he introduces himself, seems to be a man who's a little bit stuck in time himself. He's sort of in Victorian valet's uniform, and he's polite, very polite, and offers you, he cannot speak. Takes you into the common drawing room, the meeting room, offers you a drink, offers you anything you want basically, and make sure you're comfortable.
Yeah, he'll have some tea, even though he can't drink it, for the purposes of appearing human and polite. He'll order a tea. Black vanilla tea.
Your tea will be brought in a perfect porcelain teacup.
Does he spot Camilla anywhere?
Not yet. Cadbury says, I will make sure that the master knows that you are here.
Absolutely splendid, my good fellow. I shall take a seat. And we'll actually take a seat on a multi-person table, probably for 4 people, just for the sake of, in case there are any newcomers, because wherever he goes, more people are sure to follow, as history has taught him.
Ha, ha, ha. Well, fuck you too, Chris. So after Hardcastle has gone and taken his seat, as fate would have it, other people do follow for some reason. It's almost like we have decided to hold a scene at this particular place.
Machina, Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina, indeed. No.
Power of imagination says 4 people.
As Tristan is approaching, he will just say, "Oh, please wait up," and he will see Laura in an evening dress just coming up. Ah, you're here to meet Miss Camilla as well?
Ah, Laura, what a pleasant surprise. How are you?
Doing very well. There seems to be more company. That's always good. Please.
Excellent. Yes. I'm so sorry. To answer your question, yes, I was indeed on my way to go ahead and have a sit down at Miss Fortescue's salon, as it were. Some things have happened, I have heard, and I would like to talk about it.
Oh, well then let's get on our way. And Laura will just go up to the house and knock, and it looks as though she's been here before, because this waiter would probably a bit more recognizably nod at her.
Cadbury greets Laura very warmly. He seems quite a little bit animated, not really animated because he's a Victorian valet, but more animated than would seem usual. He seems pleased to see Laura. And he escorts them both in and says that Camilla is just coming down now from the study and she'll be right in and offers you drinks and that sort of thing.
Anything we can actually drink? Because that'd be amazing.
He says, of course, there are all manner of drinks available. I hear that the Merlot 1822 is particular to certain tastes, sir.
Ah. Well, I will try some of that. Thank you for your recommendation.
He smiles and goes and collects the bottle, which has a weird label on it, which, like, you wouldn't want wine that was that old, surely. But he, it says 1822 for some reason on it, and he pours it. He takes he has a white serviette, which he holds the bottle with and pours it in the proper silver service kind of way, and it is indeed blood.
Oh, excellent. Thank you ever so much.
And just as he excuses himself in from the room, Camilla will appear.
Vincent waves to the three, or kind of not waves, but almost kind of his body raises up slightly. His back strains. He just becomes more noticeable in the way that he uses his body language, as if he's making himself stand out. But he's already really distinct in that he stands out. Not that he looks good, but rather that he just looks in such a fashion. Not that he's from a different time period, but that he's not perhaps fully caught up on things. He's still from the early 2000s, maybe. I don't know, maybe 1990s.
Camilla is dressed in a kind of a white, it's sort of like 1930s-ish style sort of day suit with a black tie. And she comes into the room. She stands in the doorway and sort of surveys the guests with a smile. Welcome. I'm pleased that you decided to join this evening. As she enters the room and goes to sort of greet all of you.
Well, hello, Miss Fortescue. What a pleasure to see you again.
Mr. Fisher, welcome to 34 Tite Street.
Indeed. I haven't been here in some time. I believe 7 winters has been the last time.
She smiles. And I see Our Lady Harpy has done us the good service of gracing us with her presence. And she dips a bow to Laura with a smile.
That's you, Peter.
Sorry, I missed that.
Camilla says some sort of slightly smoozy thing of, I see you've done us a duty of a service of gracing us with your wonderful presence, and bows.
At that, she will curtsy and just say, "Well, I'm truly flattered. I do enjoy this place in particular, but a few places around town. And any time spent here in this grandeur is a joy." And she will smile to the others and sit down.
And Camilla greets Mr. Hardcastle and says, I do not believe we have properly been introduced.
No, I believe not. I am Vincent Hardcastle, librarian of Tremere, holder of the clan. A pleasure to meet you, Miss Fortescue.
A pleasure is mine. Thank you for joining us here. She gives him a little bow and then she'll take a seat and make sure the glasses are all adequately poured. And I'm so pleased that this place can be used properly again. It was sitting dusty for such a time. And, we can't have an Elysium every night, but, polite, good conversation and good company is always welcome here.
Perfect. Yes. Elysiums every night would certainly be a bother to the keeper, wouldn't it? All the preparation every once in a while is more than fine. However, every night, no.
Well, especially not if they are as eventful as they've been of late.
Oh dear.
Oh, I did hear what happened at the last Elysium. A great shame, although I wasn't around for all of it.
The former seneschal debased himself, or worse, I'm not entirely sure. He was intoxicated in at least one way and wanted to word the Queen. He was subsequently punished quite swiftly by the new section, by the Queen's order.
Well, unlike the formality of our Elysiums, here at my salon we can be comfortable and be free to be ourselves. All the staff here are long-serving to our society, so you have no fear of being uncomfortable around them too much. And this is a place for free and intellectual speech. I trust that we can be comfortable with one another here and discuss and debate. That is my hope, at least.
Well then, allow it to start off. Is it truly safe to have the Queen's chowder in a public venue? For the masquerade, no less. I believe, honestly, it's quite stupid.
I do believe he's been removed, or at least that is what I've seen in the newspapers. Although
I think that he will spend quite some time in a institution before he is, well, in public again, shall I say.
perhaps time to rehabilitate him.
Perhaps.
I must say, I was quite surprised when, to my concern, he was compared to a kindred in human fiction.
Yes, I noticed that as well. We must be careful when selecting our chowder, especially if they have connections in mortal realms. But sometimes, I'm sure the Queen has her reasons for selecting him. He has his skills.
We all have different views of what we seek in chowder. And
Yes. Your own charter doesn't join you this evening?
Well, no, she is. She may be my child, but in terms of undeath, we are only 5 winters apart.
Camilla has no idea what this means, but just nods.
Just say yes and nod.
My eldest charter was somewhat of a, she does air quotes, celebrity in her own time, but that was long before the age of cameras and newspapers and such.
The good old days.
The good old days, indeed.
Where one could travel through borders and countries without too much hubbub. I remember the days when, well, I could go to Constantinople without too much trouble.
Hmm. Camilla shoots Laura a look, and I'm going to try and hopefully Laura's going to read the look that I mean.
And here it starts.
Peony!
I have a better idea. I'm just gonna do a certain
Oi!
discipline.
Oi! I have success.
Camilla's like, she's giving you the look like, perhaps there's a topic you want to raise. She's like, she says, is there anything the Harpy wishes to discuss? Then she gives her like kind of a pointed look.
Well, there is the business that we all have to. I do not know if it is considered a decree, but it is quite certain that the Queen, due to the potential invasion or encroachment of Sabat, would want everyone to join coterie. There is that. I am still considering myself what to do and who to talk with.
Yes, I don't think it was exactly a command. Well, I think it was a command, but she didn't want to make it an order, if that makes sense.
Elders and coteries. Coteries are usually for neonates. However, I do understand the need for, well, organization. Especially if the Sabbat are knocking on London's doorsteps. Again, it seems like they haven't licked their wounds enough.
Yes, they are such a stubborn lot, aren't they?
Their prattle and their rituals and their rites.
It would behoove them to perhaps mature a little and drop the chicanery.
Well, if you actually take a closer look at the Sabbat, I've discovered through my travels there, their own intersection of politics is Machiavellian as well, I could say. They're almost as weird as the Camarilla at times.
Laura
Right.
just looks at him and just says, well, they comprise of kindred as well, but obviously there is quite a bit of difference between the two, not the same.
Quite so. They are. They have their organisation, that is certain, and their hierarchy, but it is different to ours.
Quite so. Preach freedom, but give everyone a blood bond to each other? No, thank you.
And
preach power and only cater to disorder and corruption, chaos.
worst of all, the looming threat of the Amara at all times. It seems.
I would not say that, however. The Amaranth, the way the Sabbat considers the Amaranth as anyone outside of their organization is pre-game. However, inside they have their own ritus, their own way of doing things to declare on such a thing. They have something called a monumency. It's like a holy battle. A challenge, as it were.
Mm.
Declaring this challenge is no small feat, for it lays both the challenged and the challengers on life on the line. And should you invoke the monumency unjustly and unfairly, the local power will smite you down and end you.
Barbarians. Well, all the more reason. The Amaranth is not, if it is not forbidden wholesale, it is actually in some ways just says that I see anyone who would condone such a behavior in any way quite a concern, shall we say.
The ones I had encountered on the front lines are little more than animals, monsters. They have no regard, no respect, no control. The ones I have encountered in control are monsters of a completely different ilk. And I do not jump for the opportunity to deal with them again in a sense of I really wish that they would leave this earth, but I do jump for the chance to destroy them in making sure that the Camarilla prevails in all things and smite their mark from our city.
In any regard, a closer collaboration between the city's elders would probably be a good idea. It would waver off this problem faster, I would hope.
Quite so.
Indeed. And my honest belief for that is to not break the rules of Alicia, like someone did.
Oh, yes. The elder and the new seneschal.
Yes, start with the basics and work up from there. Rules are rules, and they're there.
Well,
The new seneschal broke the rules of Elysium?
as the new rules stipulated by the new keeper, yes.
Most
Hello,
interesting.
Salter Arms. I think that one of the most pressing worries on my mind is that the name that was given of the traitor in Elysium, the one that is the sire of the fallen master, that the Mr. Lord and Mr. Peck destroyed, was previously a member of the Camarilla.
A blight upon my client's name, it would seem.
Yes. And therefore, we face ourselves in the past when we go into this endeavour. Perhaps the reason that coteries are needed is because we are better equipped with knowledge. She looks to Dristan when she says this. to combat the problem.
It also provides us with advantage. If the kindred that is currently eyeing London is formerly of the Camarilla, then not only does he know what once was here, however, his thought process is known. He can be predicted. He can look at targets and say, well, that is a place where they might strike. That is somewhere where they might go.
If we find ourselves in full-blown war again, I dare say that these little meetings will be temporarily halted, so we should enjoy it while we can.
Oh, and we do.
Well, we always have messenger birds. And he smirks at that.
In many forms.
That brings me back.
Well, in any regard, I'm quite sure that the primogen of Clan Ventru and my clanmate Torben will be quite invested in having these pretenders, these betrayers of their clan brought to justice quite swiftly. So at least they will be motivated, as I am.
I know, Lisa, this explains accent.
When you started the scene, you started talking like that, and I was just like, "Splain, masquerading as a Tremere." How dare you? Get out. Anyway, Camilla sort of looks between the assembled group and says, "Well, I'm glad that we few seem to be on the same page when it comes to our ideas."
I have no desire to see this city burn. I have no desire to see it fall. I wish it to remain a bastion of the Camarilla.
Yes.
I would think most kindred would agree with me.
Indeed, I find it most baffling that they would attempt to assault a known stronghold of the Camarilla. It is a rather reckless endeavor, at least on the surface. You would think they would attack more vulnerable locations, not an area surrounded by the Camarilla, ready to be reinforced by the Camarilla, but the Camarilla perhaps hold more dearly to them than many other cities. They seem to be simply throwing their unlives away.
We do not yet know how they're going to attack. And they might be here already.
Yes, I shall be looking through certain shipping records to ensure that they have not arrived through the coast. That does seem to be something that the La Sombra enjoy for some reason.
Oh, and,
Yes.
You have heard of the new decree, yes?
Oh, I'm sure that made your undead heart beat a little faster, Mr. Hardcastle.
Ah, yes. To secure the domain, the Seneschal has ordered blood tests for all newcomers within the city. It's an absolutely splendid option. It is very effective as well. Our client is very good at analyzing the structure of Kindred Vitae. It has long been a scientific pursuit of our clan to understand our condition more so than any other And we have developed techniques for ensuring that those who state their lineage are able to prove such, as all secrets are hidden within the blood.
Indeed, indeed. Just be sure the Assamites do not give you too much competition.
He wrinkles his nose slightly at the mention of Assamites. As in, ew, Assamites. Yes, well, they have their purpose, no doubt, but this has been an area that my clan has, for lack of a better word, had under wraps for quite a long time indeed. There's something we are quite talented at. And as much as I appreciate the Assamites' talents, this is not an area where they would be able to compete with our own clan. Perhaps they would be better suited towards looking for alternate areas of business, a different industry, perhaps.
Right, so. Well, an added layer of protection is always welcomed.
Oh yeah, it should be noted when Driston brought that up, the Tremere was grinning like a madman. He does seem to very much approve of this concept in all its forms, because how could you not? Clearly, this is the absolute correct decision to lend Tremere more power.
I need to roll some dice, I think, at least.
Roll subterfuge. He clearly approves in every way. Far too much for perhaps the people at the table to be comfortable with it.
I need
We need that me gets to face with the monocle. I do quite enjoy this.
Yeah, 6 successes. Laura is not showing anything. She just smiles and seems to be sociable.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
There is
5.
the other
All right.
issue of one of the Queen's newer decrees is for coteries to be formed to combat Sabat menace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This was just brought up.
Yes, I have been. Well, I have been generally observing for the time being. I don't have an immediate burning desire to join any coteries. I would not like to leap into a culture or dynamic that would only cause conflict and be counterproductive to our goals. I'm looking to see what structures begin to form, and which ones perhaps would best suit my talents, or perhaps would need them the most in order for that specific structure to reach the standard the Queen requires.
Camilla just sort of casts a glance over Laura again. And leans back in the chair.
Well, I'm quite intrigued in the ideas of what coders will form in the city.
Well, some of us must act. We can't all just sit around and wait to see who acts first.
Quite so.
How very appropriate of our age that may be. She actually chuckles a bit, which is unusual for Camilla. She seems to have brightened up recently somewhat.
Happy Camilla is happy.
I am hoping to see diversification. Within the formation of these coteries, I know Primogen Peck was quite intrigued in forming a coterie geared towards influence. However, my personal opinion is that it would be more productive for a coterie that could perform many tasks at once, perhaps an individual that would be able to focus on influence, but perhaps having other individuals within the coterie that could focus on other tasks, enabling us to attack the Sabbat from all angles.
And
I quite agree.
And you would not say that perhaps yourself and Camilla would be a fairly strong and diverse foundation for such a coterie?
I'm aura perceptioning the fuck out of you right now.
Your aura
Oh
perception.
yeah, man. I'm so glad I have heightened senses for this.
Are you manipulation? What are you doing?
This is aura perception. He's reading your emotions. I think I actually get
Isn't
your
it
full emotional state.
difficulty 8?
It's difficulty 8, but I have heightened senses on, which minuses the difficulty by 2.
Okay.
Let me just check on that,
She
just to make sure.
seems. You get emotions of a relaxed state. You get an emotional of interest, of what would be the third? Playful? No, that's not the word. Like enthusiastic, maybe. And the last one would be
There's a list of questions that you can ask per successes, but I can't remember what it is.
That's telepathy.
No, that's
that's
Osmo's
telepathy.
word.
That's telepathy. But these are the emotional states you get.
I thought it was like
It's
you
like
can
this-
like you see, you get one success, you can see what if they're kindred or human or whatever. Then then read the emotional state, and then
Yeah, with
something
one
else.
success, you can see whether or not the person is kindred or not. If you have 2, you can begin to say their main emotional state. And with 4,
Oh, I
as he
see.
does, he can see lots of emotions.
Yeah,
And that's the
could-
emotions he sees.
He could even see if Laura had diablerized someone in the past year.
Yeah, I do believe it can be longer than that, can it?
It depends on how many generations you go down, but I'm assuming you haven't done that, so it's not really a question.
No. So, but you do see, like, there's no, like, if you're looking for mischief or, like, lying, that doesn't, untruthful, that doesn't seem to be there.
No,
You can also see if people have things like true faith and true love, because it makes their auras look different.
Yeah, there's none of that.
Yeah, it's what Vincent sees as he kind of looks at her. He stares at her a little bit while they're talking, and he sees the most curious mixture of violet and vermilion, and perhaps where is it? A spark of mischief, playfulness. Should probably be deep red. So it's quite an accomplished set of colours.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of reds and purples in her aura makeup. But he finds, oh, how pretty is this? Not really paying too much attention to what it means until he realizes, oh yes, this is why I was doing this. And can see that you are quite eager. You're quite eager and excited for some reason, which obviously he is going to assume is what you are talking about right now. And he'll just continue. There is like a brief lapse in silence because he's kind of staring at Laura as she speaks, and then she stops talking, and then there's like this awkward second of silence before he just blinks and says, I would consider myself in this sort of skew rather diverse and talented in many areas. What would you say your greatest aspects were, Miss Fortescue?
She leans back in the chair and she says, well, I suppose I'm not one to self-promote. That is not my particular nature. However, my knowledge, experience with the enemy and with the intricacies of our society are a great boon, and my skill. I do not consider myself I do not go after influences in the way that some do. However, I do specialist things. I'm mainly focused on security and preservation as a knight, as my title states.
You are quite a formidable fighter, I must say.
Thank you.
And I can actually speak of, well, some experience, I suppose you could say. And Laura smiles. There's obviously something implied there.
If we were all human, we could smell the hormones in the air. Wait, what?
Take a perception empathy.
That's all right. You have
Yeah,
some.
I'm gonna have to roll manipulation subterfuge for this. So.
What does her aura look like right now? Because she does have, I got enough successes to actually see shifts in her aura.
The playfulness was somewhat supplanted. That has bubbled to the surface.
Wow, I fucked that roll up.
I got one success.
So
Yeah.
violet and the white has become more pronounced.
Yes,
Aura.
and you can tell that there's like she's implying that she has seen something, like obviously she's referring to something related to fighting in some way, and she seems to imply that. And seems a little bit playful, has a little bit of a grin when she says, like, I can attest to that personally, or so.
Yeah, Camilla tries to hide her smirk, but she fails. So she smirks.
Vincent just looks chill.
Well, if I did not know better, I would say that, I mean, between the two of you, perhaps myself, that would be a start to a fairly functional relationship, I would say.
Tristan will look at his bottle, his glass, kind of take a sip.
And of course, just if you're...
I'm sorry, I was almost beginning to feel like a third wheel. And he smiles while he said that.
Well,
You would be the fourth, of course.
I do not see, I believe that, well, as long as there is not an over-representation of one clan, and that everyone is willing, of course.
I am merely jesting, dear Laura.
Well, we shall become one well-oiled automobile.
I do believe that all of us are sufficiently talented and well versed in our knowledges, which I think may be a great boon as a coterie, our power of knowledge. This is the strongest weapon that we have against our enemies. Knowledge and courage, that is.
Mr. Fisher, I am terribly sorry. I had an experience once with a member of your clan that did not take too kindly to my social invitation. I suppose I should not let that fairly poorly mannered person reflect badly on you. I must apologize.
Oh, it's quite all right, dear Laura. I do know that my clan is not very well known for its manners. You definitely do not have to worry about that.
Well,
I, in fact, am the exception to that rule.
Well, he was a sailor of a different time, and he was taking my invitation to a social gathering as a mock gesture that I simply wanted to embarrass him, which was not my intention at all, but he did not take it too badly. Long story, boring story.
Well, no, I do understand where, if he was a member of my clan, where he would come from. There was a time when my clan was merely invited to courts just to be embarrassed in public. This was a rather fun game that the high clans at the time liked to play.
If someone was to do that with you, I would have liked to be in the room. I am quite sure that they would be outmatched.
Oh, that's quite all right. I will dance my way around them.
Exactly my point.
Nah, but like I said, I am the exception to this rule. Very much so. That does remind me of one of the stories that I once heard.
Well, don't keep us in suspense.
Well, it's a rather long one, and I am waiting till the hour drops. Let's just say that the Clan of Beasts has a small gathering planned tonight, and I don't know when everybody's ready.
Oh, you must give my best regards to the sheriff.
Oh, I most certainly will. And as he says that, he will look outside of a window, and there's a white bird flying by, and he says, "Oh, speak of the devil." And he will stand up. "Camilla, I most dearly thank you for your hospitality, and I most dearly thank all of you for your pleasant talk. It's been a very intriguing discussion. However, I will take my leave."
Camilla stands to give him a polite goodbye, I suppose. And then the valet will appear from nowhere to escort him out.
No, Tristan will take his leave.
What a pleasant fellow. I must say, I haven't met a gangrel as hospitable as Mr. Fisher in quite some time. It's good to have him revisit the city.
I'm
Yes,
most delighted to make his acquaintance, I must say.
he was a great deal of help previous times he was here, so I'm pleased to have him back.
Mr. Hardcastle, I'm really glad you could come.
Oh, well, it was my pleasure. How could I not visit such a grand place as this? I'd like to come here more often. I haven't been here in quite some time.
Everyone seems to have fond memories of this place. One of the reasons I wanted to keep it alive. Such a shame I could not give the gift of our existence to its former owner.
Yes, in the modern age, things are created and discarded ever so quickly. We have to work ever harder to keep the things of the old days alive. Such a task, something the younger kindred of this day and age don't seem to understand. It's a lesson often hard taught.
By the way, Mr. Hardcastle, there's something I must ask you. Is Arthur Fitzpatrick, the elder and sire of the current Malkavian Primogen, do you know much of him?
Arthur Fitzpatrick, 1 second. This guy,
Fitzwilliams, sorry. Fitzwilliams.
Fitzwilliam, yeah, not Fitzpatrick, I was thinking. I have engaged with him socially on many an occasion, but particularly notable to myself or my clan. He certainly has not made any offense. He is, of course, unstable, as Malkavians often are.
Would you... Well, yes,
Why, what appears to be the concern, my dear lady?
Well, it's unrespected an old member of our city to suddenly breach the rules of Elysium, although the rules are somewhat new. I suppose that could explain it. It just seems a bit disquieting to me that he would breach the rules of Elysium. In the Queen's presence, no less.
So many uncouth kindred in this city recently. It's almost as if... Very strange for so many elders to act out of reason so quickly in such large a mass. Perhaps they hadn't been properly informed of the new rules. It is quite puzzling.
Yes, it's a bit disquieting to me, but then again, of course, there are very new rules, and some of us have require a certain time to adjust to new rules, I suppose.
Either way, I think it's important, especially in this time, to make sure that the fundamental structure and etiquette of the Camarilla is maintained amongst all members, especially as elders. We are an example to the younger of our kind on how to behave.
Yes, we must behave with only the most upstanding class and etiquette.
Even more reason to be concerned with this development. I'm not saying it is in any way something you need to concern yourself with. I just merely thought that you might have the Tremere are one of the most important parts of the Camarilla, and you are an upstanding member. So I merely thought that you had any opinion on it, but I suppose you have given it.
My thanks. I find it more confusing and puzzling than anything else. There just seemed to be a strange pattern of breaches within that Elysium. That seems to have drawn my I, and to a lesser extent, my ire. After all, as we've already stated, we are supposed to act with stature and grace. And that was not the case at Elysium. As I say, I'm even slightly ashamed of how such kindred acted there.
I would foster that we be very careful about discussing this matter in future, because we do not
Yes.
want any of the neonates to follow the example that was set and think that they can flagrantly disregard the rules of the Keeper, as certain members of the court has done.
Should, of course, those unknowing of it should not be informed of it, but if we were to discuss it with people who know already, we should, in the strongest possible terms, condemn such actions. Sure. With every
Yes.
opportunity we are presented. But I understand, Camilla, I understand what you want to say.
I think it's important that we make sure that this sort of thing does not happen again, because it can not only cause a ripple through our court, but it may also cause ripples that permeate elsewhere. If you catch my meaning.
Clearly.
We are, as you say, Mr. Hardcastle, a bastion of the Camarilla, and that is our power, but it is also our weakness. All eyes look to us.
Yes. We are here to set the standard, not to subvert it. Of course, I shan't be discussing this outside of more esteemed members of the court, such as ourselves.
Laura
However,
just smiles at that.
perhaps to digress back to our original topic, what would you say if we were to form this coterie, as it were? What would our first measure of business be? I know we have very scant information on our adversaries as of current.
From my experience, the Sabbat often try and when they enter a city, they often try and create small pockets of chaos. It's subtle at first. Missing people, murders, fires. So sometimes it goes unnoticed. But quite quickly it builds. I feel that although we are not sheriffs, I am a hound, I feel that the first wave must be to try and make sure that we have a grip on the control of our areas, of our domains, and form a protective barrier against any such chaotic attacks.
I am meeting quite soon with the sheriff to gauge what information he has on this deer hunter, killer, or serial killer, or whatever it is. Given what you said, and in the interest of general stability, it is something I will be looking into. You are, of course, welcome to help, if you can. But potential serial killers should be dealt with if it is a deranged member of our own court or Sabbat trying to stabilize certain things. I believe this is one thing that should be dealt with soon. And publicly, it would also be a good thing to show that we are, well, committed.
Even if it is a member of the kind, it brings unwanted media and police investigations into our areas of influence. which is not
Quite
what
so.
we want.
All the more reason.
Good odds. There may be trouble ahead.
There most
Indeed.
definitely is.
I shall be enforcing stricter security measures in areas where I do business and shipments and deliveries. I will see if I can isolate certain cases of theft around my areas of control. As in our discussion with Mr. Fisher, for some reason, this bat does love to ship themselves in, for whatever reason. Perhaps it speaks to them and whatever deranged thought processes they have.
Perhaps it is their kinship with the rats.
I'm going to stretch my legs a little bit and stretch my hands a little more into the my familiar realm of the Her Majesty's defence of this country, and make sure that if any chaos is started, it will be very quickly stamped out. Camilla sort of taps the badge on her lapel. That's a regiment badge.
Laura just smiles, nods at her. Then we are in good hands.
The best, she says with a slight smirk. Good.
Well then. I thank you all for the pleasant talk and discussion of cooperative business for the future. However, I believe I should take my leave before I outstay my welcome. There is much to do in the wake of recent events. And like our dear Harpy, I should also be having a discussion with the sheriff, and I may need to have a discussion with the Queen herself at some point in time.
Well,
Very well.
I will, and she will just look to Camilla. Perhaps I should escort him out, if you would like some privacy.
Before you go, just a quick private word. But I will escort our other guests as well. She stands up to make sure that Mr. Hardcastle is escorted politely. And, you know, she just makes sure he feels welcome. She's not like hurrying him out or anything. she's just like, yeah.
Yeah, right, get the fuck out of my house.
Oh, God. That's nice.
Close the door on your way out, yeah, so
Tremere be gone. Spray, spray.
the Tremere has vanished from this place in devilish fashion. Yeah, he says that he's very
I somehow imagined him like putting a top hat on and then just vanishing.
he is not
I know. Just it was just a cool image.
he does have a top hat, it's one of those folding ones, but he doesn't have it on him today. So he will simply politely state his farewells and also suggest they should probably think of a name for their coterie if they're going to make it. And with that,
Yes.
he is Venomost, which is Spanish for go, so he is gone.
Camilla turns to almost called to Charlotte then for some reason. Camilla turns to Laura and She's like, I do hope that we didn't chase Mr. Hardcastle out.
No, he sounded as though he was busy. The Queen, the Sheriff himself. And he's also very industrious. So I'm sure he's got a lot in his life. Well,
Yes.
if so, I hope you will forgive us that we will invite him back. If you will invite him back, I will invite him as well to my place, of course.
Well, I hope I'm not doing too poorly on my hosting skills. It's not normally me that plays hostess.
Oh, I will help you with that.
She smiles.
Not as grand, a bit more modern. But again, not as grand and as sensible as this place. My place is... I will host some nights where we can come and enjoy ourselves there.
Camilla goes to the old gramophone that she was standing at the other night and moves the needle and plays. It's kind of like it makes that sort of like sound that old gramophones make before they stop playing the track.
Mm-hmm.
And it plays Let's Face the Music and Dance. Because it seems fitting at the moment. She smirks.
So, is there anything what do you want to talk about in private? As she just does a thing with her eyes as she just tries to dramatize it. Smiles at you.
Camilla just stares at the record going around for a second. And then she picks up her glass and indicates for Laura to pick up her own.
She picks up her glass, gets up, looks at her.
She moves over to quite close to her, still within sort of arms parted distance, and she will sort of incline her glass towards Laura's and say, "To our new coterie, I suppose. I just wanted to congratulate you."
Thank you. And congratulations.
We seem to be collaborating quite well so far.
I try my very best. They will just hit the glasses ever so slightly, and she will drink the rest of the beverage in her glass and put it down.
Camilla drinks. Yeah, she does the same. She sort of drains it, puts it down, and then looks at the emptier distance, smiles. Until the duel, then.
Laura smiles and just says, "It has been an absolute pleasure. Is there anything else?"
Camilla looks at her and kind of tries to make a perception empathy roll. Because she's like, is there anything else?
I'll just give it to you. She stands there. She's is about to leave, but she doesn't seem to imply too much. She's just asking if there is anything else, or else she will be on her way.
Camilla just sort of closes the distance a tiny bit more, and she say, "I just wanted to thank you for your company recently. It's brightened my spirits, shall we say. I'm feeling more invigorated about the challenges we have to come."
Why? She looks up at her and just says, "The way to present yourself does you credit. You are quite unique, aren't you?" And she smiles at her. You can see a bit of teeth as she smiles. It's like a little bit more animated, or a little bit more. There's also a hint in her eyes that she actually means that a little bit more than, or it seems a little bit more genuine as she just looks out. And she will just nod. "Well, have a very good evening. I must be on my way."
Angie. And she'll see her to the door. Well, she'll see her as far as Cadbury goes. And then Cadbury will give her her things and open the door for her and escort her out.
And she will begin to leave the area. And unless there is anything else.
I was just going to say Camilla hums along to the tune.
And with Camilla humming away, we will end our scene. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.